When I was 18, I worked at a local coffee shop in my hometown, and I often worked there, picking up shifts and closing 6 nights a week. I had lots of regulars and lots of randoms, but other than maybe a few awkward orders, I never really had a problem with the customer being inappropriate or out of hand. This night was already really stressful for me, as it was Halloween, and I was a little bummed to be closing while my friends were out and about. But I had friends to go to a house that my friends rented right down the street after work, with some pastries and Red Bull, so I really didn't mind too much. It was about 9:45, and I was ready to close right at 10. It had been dead since about 8, and all I had to do was a final register count. Everything was clean, and I was reading a book to pass the time, trying not to watch the clock. Our counter, by the way, is like a bar counter, long, with the register near the door at the closed end, and with the one far end open for us to go in and out of, right near the door to our back room. A man walked in the front door. He looked about mid-20s. He was black, had on a big hoodie, and was wearing sweatpants that sagged down so I could see the waistbands of 2 different pairs of gym shorts underneath. I am a young white female, but I have no fear of people, and I'm not racist, so I didn't bat an eyelash when he walked in with one hand in a hoodie pocket and the other in the pocket of one of the pair of gym shorts. Men of all races wear clothes like that, and carry themselves that way, at least where I live. So with no concern, I greeted him and asked him how he was, and what he was thinking of ordering. He took his time responding, but wasn't looking at the menu, or at our chalkboard with seasonal drink offers. He was looking at the front door. He took about a minute, then turned to me, and asked my name. I often had male customers ask this, so I told him, and then asked again what he was looking to order. He began to ask me more questions about me and my job. He asked if I liked it. I responded, thinking maybe he wanted a job application, and gave him a very short version of how I felt. It was almost 9:50. I kept checking my phone, thinking that I just wanted to make his drink so I could clean up again and meet my friends. He nodded, saying he thought I liked my job, which I thought was strange, but again, didn't think about it. I agreed again. He then started to ask about the shifts I worked. I figured he had sympathy that it was Halloween, and I gave him a vague answer. He then asked why I didn't work on Thursdays. My heart jumped. I didn't see that one coming from a mile away. I struggled to respond, and he continued, and asked if Sunday mornings were better than Wednesday nights. At this point, I broke into nervous laughter and smiles, asking him if he was looking to work for the coffee shop and that we needed the help. He stopped smiling at this point, and his hand in the hoodie pocket made an abrupt move to the very inside pair of gym shorts, basically so that he would be grabbing himself. He didn't quite reach in all the way, and I felt like I was going to pass out. I asked him to order or leave, as the end of our business day was almost there, and that I needed to clean and lock up. At this point, I grabbed my cell phone and kept it in my hand, thinking, how can I dial 911 and not have him begin to molest himself in front of me, or whatever he planned on doing? He began to sort of lean on the counter and ask me questions. He asked me where I lived, did I have a boyfriend, what were my plans for that night. I was trying hard not to cry, and tried my best to lie through more vague answers, hoping he would go away if I just didn't freak out. He began to move away from the register, still leaning on the counter, hands in his pants, towards the open end of the bar. I began to back as far towards the front door as possible, but that end had no opening, and was so high, I couldn't jump it without considerable effort and climbing over an espresso machine. The only other exit I could think of was our narrow drive-through window. Clutching my phone, I asked him what he wanted. For some reason, he stopped. He stood up and looked towards the front door, then turned to look at the clock behind him. I took the chance to start writing a text message to my friend, and I said, if I am not at your place in 10 minutes, call the police. He caught me sending the text, and asked me who I was texting. I told him my boyfriend, and his face became something that I will never forget. His eyes blazed, and he was still as stone. He calmly told me to throw my cell phone across the floor, specifically telling me to try and throw it to the drive-thru. I had to really toss it, about 9 feet away. After, he began to scream, making his way again down the counter. He asked me how I could have a boyfriend, when he's been watching me at work for the last 2 months as often as possible, and had never seen a man drop me off or pick me up at work. He pointed to the side of the building that I had parked on, and said he knew I had parked my blue Toyota there earlier, and not to lie to him. I asked him to leave, beginning to cry. He began to describe my work shifts to a T. When I came in, when I left, how I smoked across the street on break. He told me that he knew that I only drank the Diet Coke that we sold, and that I always cranked my music up when I started my car. At that point, he pulled a small gun out of the gym shorts and waved it around as he said that I was stupid to lie to him, that he knew it all. He was going between enraged and laughing, as if he couldn't believe that I didn't want to talk to him, or that it was funny that I was scared. I offered him all the money in the register, and he laughed again, like hysterically, and then again went still. He said, "I'm not here for any money, Mariner. I'm not here for a job. I think you know what I'm here for." I'm sobbing now, and it made him either frustrated or sympathetic, and he began to say that I needed to calm down, that he was just really excited to meet me. He still had one hand down near his dick, and began to fondle himself, holding the gun with the other hand, and about 3 feet away from the opening in the bar. I asked him again to please leave. When he didn't move, I asked him what I did to him, and why was this happening. He began to speak, saying that I was really pretty. He was continuing to talk, when all of a sudden, my friend walked in the door with his friends in tow. There were 5 guys altogether, and all in a metal band together, so they're a pretty distinct group of guys. The man quickly put the gun in his hoodie pocket, so quickly that only 2 of my friends noticed it. He ran for the door, pushing past my friends, and disappeared into the night. I threw up as soon as he was gone, and 2 of my friends ran out after him, but didn't gain on him enough and didn't see where he went to. I quit my job the next day, and called the police. There was never any follow-up, and I still wonder about what the fuck did, or didn't, happen to me that night.